Audio Jungle.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review, where we come to you live from the Mott Branch Library to talk about the things that we've done last week, the things that we're doing today, and a few things that we got coming up in the future. What we're going to do right now is put on our intro video. I don't know why I'm hearing echo.
I got reverb.
Yeah. Put on our intro video. Oh, that's Jody. You know what? That's probably because I had that thing on and I was had the volume up. So now here we are. All right. I thought we had two totally different conversations going on. I thought I didn't take my meds today. So what we're going to do is we're going to put on our intro video. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
Not guilty.
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own emancipation proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
Back. This is the CSRN podcast, a week in review. Every once in a while, we have somebody that has stopped by the studio. So I'm gonna just take a break right now. Hey, come on in. All right, we got our in-house guest today. If you give me 1 second, we'll take care of everything. Hey, listen, I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. 10 years ago, will November make 11?
November makes 11.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna still push this. 10 years ago, it was Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey had the idea of community solidarity, where they would put together maybe a rally, not necessarily a protest. And then they called me to ask if I could help plan to kind of level it up. And here we are, still doing what we do, unbossed. And what am I wearing today? Today I have on, let me flip my computer. Today I've got on my Black Voters Matter shirt on today, kind of let you know that we're going to be talking about the Toledo Mayoral Forum that's coming up this Thursday at William Palmer at 6 p.m. I've got my black hat on. I've got my beads. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. And we're doing this for the protest community and activist culture, where we created our own platform that we can report out. We can bring people on that's doing some awesome things in Toledo, and we can put somebody on blast, which we may end up doing later on in the show. But right now, we want to give you our mission statement and our guiding principles. So, Jody, I think that I've done all that I could possibly do. Oh, also, the 30th year anniversary of the Million Man March is coming up. We're going to talk about that, and the 10-year anniversary of Justice or Else, 10-10-15. So, Jody, if you can introduce yourself, and we'll get into our mission statement, our guiding principles, take a short break, and come back.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful organization that has been going on, as Brother Washington said, November 25th, it will be 11 years. 11 years of protest and community engagement, of giving out awards, of doing forms, as we have our mayoral forum coming up. Whoever shows up, shows up. But we have had the word out there for over a month now. And also to let you know, it is election season. So make sure you go early vote if you cannot make it on election day. That is the one of like 3 days out of the year where we do not record live, because me and Brother Washington have taken on the responsibility not just to talk in the community, but to be a part of it. We are election officials. So every election, which is not just the presidential.
That's right.
There's actually 2, sometimes 3, because they have special elections a year. We take that 16 hours out of our day to make sure you are able to go voice your opinion.
That's a long time.
That is a long time. Actually, a day, what most people don't know is that we're not just there Tuesday, we're there the day before, and we set up the machine.
That's right.
Boxes for all you guys to be able to voice your opinion and all that good stuff. I want to thank you again for joining us each and every single week. You know, it is a difficult task to, consistently watch something, but the fact that you join us in our little studio that we pull up and take down every single week is a beautiful thing. If you're on Spotify right now, because we are not just on Facebook and YouTube, we're also on Spotify. We can go catch us and tune in. I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and artifacts from doing this for the past 11 years. My clothing is a Jay, which I never really mentioned, but today I'm wearing a power shirt, or the power tour from what we did last year, which was, again, to engage people with Reinvest Toledo to go out and vote. We actually have a thing coming up on the 26th, as even though after this election season, there's still stuff you need to know. I know on this one, since I am an election official and I had to vote early because we can't vote on election day, is for all the people that keep asking me, this is for your at-large city council, the mayor, and a couple judges. If you do go vote, there is a couple things that are different now. There's one Maumee school district person that dropped out, and Carrie Hartman, she has dropped out. So I'm not sure if it's still on the ballot. It doesn't really change that quickly, but so if you do go vote, make sure you are aware of that. Do not vote for those two people. When I was there, they had some signs up. But if you vote, you will be essentially throwing away that vote on somebody. So
that's
check out the people at large. There's a couple more forms, I believe, before election time, and make your decision count. For those of you that wonder, how do we continue to do this? How can we just, keep the fight going? Aren't we afraid about jobs? Aren't we afraid about what our community might think of us? And my answer to that is nah.
Yeah.
I thought about that. I wouldn't have never started. I would have been on the sidelines.
That's right.
Trying to cheer people on, or just confused of why you're still fighting for something when, at least from your job and your stuff, you think we won. But as we see, we haven't. They're pulling children out of homes in Chicago and zip tying them. It's not getting any better, and staying on the sidelines ain't gonna make it any easier. You getting on social media and being upset is not gonna make it any easier. But so that way we can keep the show moving along. I do believe we have a special guest coming in later on for protection. Right. But this is our mission statement. This is what keeps us bound to the beliefs that you cannot come through our doors and tell us all lives matter.
That's right.
That's that. Anyway, we are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Yeah, and in saying that, I'm glad that we'll be processing the 30-year anniversary of the Million Man March and the 10-year anniversary of Justice or Else, 10-10-15. Yeah. One of the things that we also have that go along with the mission statement is our guiding principles, and having all of the activists under one roof. That's difficult to manage if we don't have something that all of us have agreed upon. And that's how how we're going to be principled in our activism. That tells us what we're going to select together. And heck, even if we don't all agree, we're just doing both.
Yep.
But these are the CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working Black lives, wealthy Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And that means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
And also, if you notice, we have our beat camera up that kind of gives you a behind the scenes of what we do. So you can see our layout. You can see that I'm reading off something. All right. I haven't memorized it yet, but at one point I may challenge myself to do that. And also, I think that our processing the 10-10-15 and the Million Man March, that'll be our Black Lives Matter moment.
Yep. Also, since today is the last day for Hispanic Heritage Month.
That's correct.
So we want to shout out to all our Latin American friends and everybody out there that is still continuing to celebrate this 30 days. And yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? Big shout out to our brother, Tony Rios, that has Voces Latinas. That's the television station, cable station right there on Broadway.
Yeah.
They broadcast weekly.
And our mayoral candidate.
Oh, Roberto. See, all right, he ain't coming.
You tried too hard.
I know I'm trying. Yeah, that's what I get. But yeah.
Still, shout out to him stepping up and trying to lead the city in a better direction.
All right. So what we're going to do right now, we'll put on our we'll put on the Voces Latinas commercial. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekly review. We'll be right back.
now
en esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. We've met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
A limited time sale.
Okay, we're back on now. Yeah, that's my fault. All right, and maybe we'll talk about. All right, I know. I'm the one that really want to shine. Hey, also, shout out to our brother Roberto Torres. Shout out to Harold Harris, and I'm gonna shout out to Wade Kapsikevich. All of them have been invited to our Mayoral forum. 2 have confirmed. One said that they were not going to be there, but we're going to do some righteous arm twisting, all right, to see just how that's going to turn out. But we should have a really good turnout for that. Hey, we're back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. One of the things that we wanted to highlight today is the 30-year anniversary of the Million Man March, and I've got this week's edition of the Final Call newspaper, so I really didn't have to have a special graphic or anything. I'm going to just say a few words about my experience with the Million Man March, and then you and I went 10 years ago to 10-10-15, so it's like we got history, all right?
Yeah.
We got history. So 30 years ago, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan at one of the lectures, we were having men's only meeting because we were wanting to stem the violence in the community. And we know as men, we're the ones that have to step up. If there's anything that has to change, it's got to be us, be better fathers, better uncles, better sons, better brothers and nephews and cousins. And it's going to be on us. So Minister Farrakhan was having men's only meetings all over America. And in one of his meetings, he had said that I like to take 1 million men to Washington, D.C. And those words came out of his mouth. He didn't roll it back. And all of, I think 1994, we were promoting it. We were taking donations because we had to fund it. It was on a Monday, not a Sunday or a Saturday. You had to pay your own way because this was not sponsored by Procter & Gamble or Walmart or Target or anything like that. So this was unlike anything. There was a lot of negativity leading up to it because everybody thought there's no way 1 million men are going to show up. And if 1 million men were going to show up, there was going to be some violence. So I had to deal with that, Jody, going to the barbershops and the beauty salons and different places talking about the Million Man March. And there was a lot of people afraid, but I felt that, hey, this is something that I got to be a part of. I got to be there. And to make this story short, because I could really be on here, quite some time talking about this. This was the only time that I've ever taken a plane, and the whole plane was just black men. And I think maybe for that whole day, if you were on a train, if you were on a bus, so getting off the plane, we took the train from, I think, Baltimore to DC, and this train, just black men. Walking onto the mall, it didn't look like a million men, but as you walk further and closer to the mall, you just see all the brothers. Man, it was magnificent. It was a glimpse of heaven. It showed that we can unite. If the right call is made, we can respond. We will respond. And I took this as myself coming back to Toledo to be a better brother, be a better all over. And I don't think that I will be here today were it not for the Million Man March. If I was dedicated before, this doubled my dedication. And there's many stories that I could tell about it, but I was there in this Final Call newspaper. I was probably one of those in the front. I had a security detail, which placed me close to the podium where Minister Farrakhan spoke. So I got a chance to see some of the dignitaries walk up. There was Will Smith there. Of course, Chuck D was there. Jesse Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. There was a lot of people, man. It's nothing that can compare to that. And and also this week on the 19th at 1416 Nebraska. I don't even have the flyer for that, but I may put it in the crawler. At 1416 Nebraska, that's the Padua Center. That's where we'll have our 30-year observation of the Million Man March, 11 a.m., a special webcast. We've got the screen and projector and internet, so, it ain't like somebody's going to talk for 3 hours. We're going to have a really special event there. So if you attended the Million Man March, if you attended Justice or Else, or if you just want to be a part of history, because we got to promote our own history now. I don't think Walmart is making a Million Man March postcard. It's going to be up to us to promote that. And I want to talk about 20 years after the Million Man March, we went back to DC with the young people, because it's going to take our young people to unite. And we had what we call 10-10-15, Justice or Else. Nobody else wanted to cover it, so we had to do it all via internet. And the newspapers weren't going to advertise it like they did 30 years ago. The television stations weren't going to condemn it like they did 30 years ago. So we had to do everything on our own. And I think it was myself, it was Jody, and a few others from CSRN. So when we think back to 10-10-15, what impact did that make on you, Jody?
Well, as you so eloquently put, I don't know where I would be had I not been there or started this all of everything then. I had went with a group, my troupe of thespians, actors and such for my first ever stage play, thanks to Ordella Wilson, or as we know her here, Della, say it 2 times.
Okay.
And that was our kind of group gathering for Stuck in the Rain, the play that we did over a decade ago as we were preparing, a team building effort thing. I actually got on the lawn, so I was maybe a bus length away from him. And I still have video of it, of speaking and being around all of those people that looked like me, that had reasons to be upset or reasons to prosper that looked like me.
Yeah.
That came from urban neighborhoods that looked like me. It was a very different feeling. And before that, I really hadn't, I just started getting into this and trying to figure out why I'm on this corner holding this sign and the newspapers are coming. And if what we were doing was really a moment or just a trend. And it really became a moment. I heard something randomly from the office the other day, because I'm still kind of going back through that since we have the series called The Paper that's based on Toledo. And it was, how come you can't know when the good times are the good times in that moment? You know, the good old days and stuff like that. You reminisce on things. And that was definitely one of my good old days. Had I not known it at that time.
Who knows when the good old days, if you're living in it.
Yep.
All right.
And if you're living in it, you really don't know that. That's why it's important to take those opportunities. We all chipped in. We rented a large van. We wound up getting a ticket. But it was also 10/10 was the last time that you could freely walk in front of the White House.
Oh, yeah.
After they closed it down. I remember going out there. I got stuck because they were doing some stuff because Obama was walking by and they were closing it. So I kind of played dumb as the security guy he had closed this side of the gate and closed that side. And I had my camera out. I was like, oh, I didn't know. But then after that, you can't walk in front of the White House right now. No more. So that was impressive. I got to see all of the monuments and stuff. And this time, like a couple of years ago, I actually went back because at the time I didn't get to see the MLK monument.
Oh, okay.
And so when I went back for Survivor Speaks and the Justice or Else, all that stuff, I actually did get to see it. But my experience was very positive. I had never been to DC before. So it was my first time there, first time seeing the Capitol, first time seeing like what truthfully makes this country great without all whoever's in office screaming about they want a Nobel Peace Prize.
Right. I can't understand that right there.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things about 30 years ago in Washington, D.C., man, you know, sometimes if you step on somebody's shoe, it's a problem. Well, there was a million of us there, so somebody's shoe is bound to get stepped on. There was no gang stuff because there were brothers from different gangs, people from different fraternities, different political, parties. And if there was an older gentleman that needed to use the bathroom, we would lift him up and pass him over the whole crowd so that he get to where he needs to be. The whole day was peaceful. I remember the day before it was raining, and some of us experienced snow driving through Pennsylvania on that way because this is October.
Yeah.
So in Washington, D.C., the East Coast, even Toledo, if you're in Toledo, we can get any type of weather this year, but it ended up being probably one of the best days, the best weather for that. When it was done, all of us committed to being better brothers and to go back to Toledo or whatever our city was and join an organization. I think the first organization that Minister Farrakhan asked people to join was the NAACP or the NAACP. He asked them to join your community centers, join a church, join something in your community that you see is making a difference. So sometimes we don't have to start something new. Let's just support that thing that's already doing it. So also for CSRN, we're one of those that's already doing it. So we really appreciate all the support that everyone has given us over this last 10, soon to be 11 years. And after the end of the Million Man March, when Minister Farrakhan read the pledge, man, I should have the pledge. But even our solidarity pledge is based upon the Million Man March pledge. Mm-hmm. And Minister Farrakhan asked all of us to pick up the trash. If there's a cup, if there's a wrapper, all of us picked up, and we left that mall better than we did when we got there. And last history note, the Million Man March was originally supposed to be on October 7th. And October 7th is the birth anniversary of the Most Honorable Summit. And in Washington, we weren't able to get the permit for the 7th, and the next day available was the 16th. So Mr. Farrakhan said, well, 1 and 6 is 7. Hey, it's all good. Let's go. And also, I don't think that I could end this talk without mentioning Mayor Marion Barry and his wife and the staff at that time of the mayor of Washington, D.C., that they just laid out everything for us. And I don't believe that the Million Man March would have been as successful without the help of the mayor and the staff. It definitely would not have been successful without the help of Brother Ben, Reverend Ben, Dr. Ben Chavis, formerly the executive director of the NAACP. He came on to organize and be the primary organizer of the Million Man March. And I think it was Dr. James Bevel that gave the 8 steps of atonement, from acknowledging the wrong, pointing it out, and lastly, becoming perfect in perfect union with yourself and God. All of those things allowed us to really look at ourselves. We weren't going to protest or ask Bill Clinton at that time to give us jobs and give us justice. If anybody needed something to do, it was us to take responsibility for all the things that we've done and take responsibility for some of the things that we will be doing in the future to make our community a safe and decent place to live. So, hey, that's my thing today, the Million Man March 30 years ago. And on the 16th of this month, there's something else special that's happening. That is the Toledo CSRN Mayoral Forum. That's Thursday, October 16th, 2025. And if you could right now, Jody, why do you think for a group like ours, most people think that we only do police brutality or we only do protests and riots. Why do you think it's important for us to have a mayoral forum that all of the candidates can come out, talk about their platform, and field questions from the audience? Why do you think that's important for us?
Well, I think it's a responsibility of any organization that is trying to say, we are the people, we are helping our community, to actually show proof. This is us showing proof, not just getting online and being upset, not just going to protest and being upset, not just making signs and being upset. We take the risk of being integral in our electoral system. I don't want to just scream out on the street, they should fix something, and I'm not going to go vote. I'm not going to go to any community forums. I'm not going to host a forum, because that is taking a risk. You are putting your name, your organization, your privacy on the line to get cease and desist from other parties because you've done something. A lot of, I wear many hats. And most people only see me in some of them. Some people only know me as being a performer traveling the world. Some people only know me as being an author or a chef or a handyman or after school person that does summer camps and stuff. But it's a lot. So if I drop one hat or leave one title, I've run many boards. like the Historic Vistula Association. And if I let one of those go, it's okay, because I know I'm doing so many other things, and giving our attention to this is solidifying it. 10 years from now, so 10 years ago when we were doing forums, it's something we weren't really prepared for. We didn't know what was all the things going on, but we did it. We gained that knowledge and experience. We learned some mistakes from the process of who not to allow to speak first.
Yeah, that's right. And how to, if we're going to have questions, write the questions down on the index card, and we have the moderator read. I think earlier in my planning, I would give each person the microphone, but unfortunately, people that are passionate, Jody, about asking questions, they like to set the question up first before they ask it.
Right.
So that could take 10 minutes. All right.
And we have to be acceptable of everybody's time, that you came here for this forum and this thing. If we spend all this time on one candidate, then the other candidates don't get to talk.
Yeah.
It's you learn as you do stuff. 10 years ago, I was not a well-rounded person. I was still very angry about things. I was like, well, why can't they do this? And over the process of meeting them and going to fundraisers, having them come to our stuff, which on that, as a grassroots organization that is not a nonprofit, we are not a nonprofit. So when people's like, oh, you're just taking money. No, we're not. We ask our community. We also pitch in ourselves. This is
this is self-funded.
It's self-funded. I may be the treasurer, but I don't take blood money. So it's not about money. It's about what impact we can give out to the community. So future generations can say, hey, normal people can do a form. You could just call your elected official and put them on the flyer and tell them show up or else.
Yeah. And that's what we did. So big shout out to our graphic artists that produced the flyer that you see in the lower right hand the lower right hand corner of the screen. And also there's another flyer with all three. Let me bring that up.
Shout out to our moderator, Tori Creel, for accepting the responsibility of crowd control, because that's another thing you don't really think about when you're doing these things. You could have all the mics and stuff set up in the background, but you also have to have a moderator who's not going to put their personal feelings into it too. You don't want somebody out there drilling one of the candidates because they have a mic now.
Right. So the theme of the Mayoral Forum is our city, our voice, our vote, and shout out to our graphic artist team. They also included all three photographs. Now, two of the candidates committed to being there. One candidate didn't. So Wade had said that he would not be able to be there because there's another forum happening at the same time that same day. I don't know how that happens because
we have two of the candidates.
We have two of the the only mayoral candidates. We have them. So we had sent back the email. We thanked them for that, letting us know. But we also let him know that hopefully he can schedule some time to get there, because this is the only mayoral forum on that day. And as of right now, I'll have to look and find out just where that forum is. Maybe we can send him some questions while he's there. So if you see his picture on the fly right here, that's not an indication that he's committed to being there. We just listed all the candidates that are running for mayor. All right. And that's public knowledge. That's public information right there. So yeah, we're hoping that something happens, that Mayor Wade makes it to the CSRN Toledo Mayoral Forum. That's Thursday, October 16th.
At the new Wayman Palmer.
At the new Wayman Palmer. Matter of fact, Jody, he's going to be, let me bring this, let me see. Do I have this? I thought I had another something up. No, he's going to be at the Wayman Palmer tomorrow, there's something happening tomorrow. I think they're going to cut the ribbon for the Inez Nash part, which is kind of adjacent to the Y. I don't think that I'll be freed up in time to get there to say, hey, look, while you're here, we want to go ahead and lock you down to be at the forum tomorrow. And maybe after Mr. Mayor, if you're here, if you're watching this, or if Austin is watching this, if you could, Austin, have him come from 6 to 7. All right. And if you have him come at 6 to 7, and then we'll release the other 2 candidates to join him at Wallbridge. All right. So we'll get it in 6 to 7.
You can get all the people in the
so you can get all the people
about each other.
All right.
I don't know. Has there been another mayoral forum?
Not this. I don't know. I know that there's been many candidate forums, and you'd have the right, and you'd have the city council members. And I've seen a candidate forum where Roberto Torres was also with the city council candidates, but I haven't seen anything else with Wade, Roberto, and Harold all at the same place at the same time. And if somebody else, if you're out there and if you've seen that, feel free to correct us. All right. Feel free to correct us. And I'm looking at some of our comments. Yeah. All right. So CD. That is right and exact. But we're gonna keep hope. I think Jesse Jackson said we're gonna keep hope alive. We're gonna keep this flyer and just recognize, as how they say, this is not my music. This music is copyrighted. I don't own this music, so we're not necessarily owning the thought that he committed to being there or anything like that, because he didn't. All right, but we put all the candidates on a flyer that we'd like to show up. So so there it is. So Austin from the mayor's office, have him show up at 7. Have him show up at 6. That way he could field a couple of questions. He could also let the audience know, hey, listen, this is election time, and I know how busy the politicians are, but we do have both of the mayoral candidates in one place at one time. So, so hopefully
to have a forum, you actually got to be able to speak to other people, not just yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just like that. Hey, what we're going to do right now, I think that I processed this mayoral forum. Like you said, shout out to Toy Creole, and also shout out to some of the contributors. Let me get my list of,
got some sponsors going on there.
Well, this year we wanted to do something, or this time we wanted to do something different. So we reached out to a couple of newspapers and asked the editors to give us a couple of questions. We talked with Fletcher Word for the Sojourner's Truth. That's a really smart brother. So we asked him, give us a couple of questions that you think the candidates should be asked. And from a journalist's thought, his thought is more balanced than, I got a couple of axes to grind, but I try to be fair and not nonpartisan for this. We talked to my sister, Linda Alvarado, from the La Prensa newspaper. Hey, give us a couple of questions. We talked with the Muslim Americans for Palestine. And also we talked with Brother Brian Hayward Sr., Brian Hayward, insurance company. We asked him, what do you think business owners would want to ask? And we got a couple other questions from some really great community leaders, which changes it now. It's more than just a CSRN thing. And also we've got some of us that are planning this to have some great questions. And with the audience questions, we really can't miss. The only thing that I would like is for a way to just come through.
Yeah.
This is the only forum where both the candidates are on that day. They committed to being there, and they're going to be here. So you can just come to our forum first, or you can leave that other forum, whatever that thing is, all right, that there are no other candidates at. You can leave that maybe around 7 and come through. And we'll let the audience know, hey, listen, the mayor's a busy man. You know how us do that. He's a busy man, much busier than you are. So he's got a lot of things to do, and he could come through, field a couple of questions. A lot of people should be there that would consider voting for these candidates. So yeah, let's put it on the candidates to show up. They're going to be working for us anyway.
Right.
So I don't know how the employee could tell us what they would like and what they would like to be done or how they like something to happen. No, I think you need to show up. Your boss is calling. So, hey, we'll give you some updates. Tomorrow's Wednesday, which is Mayoral Forum Eve. All right. The next day is Wayman Palmer, 6 o'clock. We're going to take a short break and come back. This is the CSRN podcast, a week in review. We'll be right back.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. The program has fatherhood classes which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with really being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it, we have to breathe it, we have to do it, we have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a BU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3, BU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change, if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, let's say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So they showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me When fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you, or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
And shout out to Brothers United, man. Be you.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. You know, Jody, when we got back on the air, I'm thinking to myself, I feel a really strong breeze and I've got my hat off. All right, so I've got all the glory showing. It's all good. Everybody knows I have zero hairline going on. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. And one of the things that we like to do is called our sup dates. That's when we tell you what's up. That's happening last week and some of the things that we were working on last week. And I like to, if you don't mind, Jody, I like to go, I like to start first and talk about, we had the NAACP. Let me put this flyer up here because I was at that one. Sometimes I try to make everything, but sometimes I'm not able to make everything. But this was last Thursday, October 9th. This was at Glass City Church, and they had the 2025 Community City Toledo Council Candidates Forum, and they had all of the candidates there. They even had a new candidate that showed up. I don't know. I guess she was campaigning for Kerry Hartman's spot.
Yep, Ali.
Yeah, so she showed up, and so everybody, I don't want to mention everybody like I know them all, but I know them all. But
many of them have sat in this seat right here.
Yeah, and man, who shined that day? Man, really all of them show respect to the NAACP for showing up. So I'm really not going to say who shined and who didn't. The people that didn't show up are the ones that didn't shine. So, but all of them showed up, gave their opinion on what they thought from the position of being a Toledo City Council member. And shout out to Darlene, my sister Darlene, who is the president of the NAACP Toledo branch, and the moderator. I want to find out the moderator kept things on track, even when the audience was kind of going off track and some of the candidates were going off track. Also, shout out to Blair Johnson and his team. He brings a whole crew with him. I don't know if anybody else brings a whole crew with them, but if I ran for something, my wife would kill me if I said, hey, I really want to. All right, man, that's okay. I'm not gonna run for anything. All right, until I get permission, which I don't think I'll get it. But just in case, maybe they can DM Yvette. Hey, let him run. Nope. But Blair Johnson brings a crew with him. Rob Pasker brought the heat when he came. Kind of remind me of myself when I had hair when I'm like 30 years younger. All right. Cassandra McPherson, always fiery. Nick Comives, always representing. Dr. Brittany Jones, put the doctor on it, was there. Everybody, Matt Driscoll, Sarantu, Brzezinski, Winewski, names. Man, I hope I didn't forget anyone. Man, so many, all of them show respect to the CP for being there for that. And excellent church, Glass City Church, Reverend Burt, for allowing, them to use that church for that function. Just a great event right there. I'm glad I was able to.
I'm glad you were able to attend. I know myself, I was getting off of work and doing my last checks for packing to head to Cincinnati. So I look for, I've seen some of the video of stuff. Robbie's been really good with reposting stuff and all the campaign work and everything like that. And as I've said on my page before, during this election time, being that I am an official and all that stuff, I cannot tell you who to endorse or anything like that, but there will be signs. So if you ever ride by my little place in the Wilers, you might see some yard signs and stuff like that on my lawn. But other than that, I'm glad everybody was able to make it out then. Hopefully, again, on the 16th, everybody will be able to make it out and be a part of the process. Did you know a lot of people still do not know what they're voting for right now?
That's right.
As I was coming in today, somebody had asked me, like, what exactly is on the polls? And as I started the show, I could tell you it's city council at large, the mayor, and there are like 2 or 3 judges unopposed. And another thing, you don't have to vote everything. Vote what you like and stuff like that. You don't want to vote the judges? Skip. There's certain people you say you don't want to do all 6 seats on city council because you don't know all these people, so you want to do just a couple people. Still vote. It is very important because that is how they redistrict your communities and get ready for what's next year, which is all the state, the judges and stuff that are going to be making laws based on who's in office and who can block him, who can ban him. I actually got a breaking news, I guess you could say, from Channel 11 that the ban has been rebanned. So the wines ban is actually taken back. I'm not exactly sure how that works because the ban started at 12:01 midnight today, but they just put out something that a judge has blocked the ban. So politics and stuff is very interesting. I do want to give a shout out to the collective effort of everybody that's been marching and protesting and everything for the hostages to be released. I heard that happen. Hamas released a whole bunch of people and it went back and forth. They released a whole bunch of people. So to the ones who have been in captive or have been basically in prison for all this time since that started, what was that, March last year?
2 years ago.
To the survivors, because not everybody made it out of them internment camps. It may be a different time with all the social media and all the other stuff, but this is war. It's very odd that we haven't gotten back to whatever's going on with Russia and stuff, but not to stray too far off subject.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we got there's a lot to talk about.
It is a lot to talk about. Every week in the world, there's always something going on. D'Angelo is I ain't got enough news, credible news sources, not just somebody's random podcast or something. Not that we're not a random podcast or anything, but that D'Angelo has passed. I believe I've seen enough from enough sources that haven't been fake news that unfortunately the soul singer D'Angelo has passed. I think it was 51. So time is short.
Yeah, and that's pretty young.
Very, very short. That is really young.
That's young.
To go through life and everything like that. But we're getting into updates now. If there is anything, because we always tell people, come to our page, Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo. If you start typing it in, once you get to about response, it should pop up with us. Leave it on our page if you want us to, delve into some stories or something like that, or do some better research. Leave it on our page.
That's
or
right.
Even tag me. I can't say tag. I want to say tag Brother Washington.
Yeah, you can. I'll get to it. All right.
Yeah.
I'm suffering from the old man stuff. All right. I'll get to it next week. But yeah, you could tag me. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
All right.
Tag you, message
All right.
you, ask you something from somebody that's actually lived it, not just speculated about it or witnessed it. So here's some things that's went on since our last show last week. On Wednesday, there was the Sweeties Day Stroke and Sip open mic at 827 Star, which is a place called the Code. And that is every second Wednesday of each month, there's an open mic. It was patio on the patio, poetry on the patio. And now we got we did the Sweeties Day thing. So I think that day is coming up soon, I guess. But it was good. I saw all my favorite friends from open mics and everything like that. The features were awesome. We had somebody that's been around since the Million Man March and was doing his poetry. And now he's coming back out. He's about to get ready to do an album and stuff like that. You'll probably see that sometime this week on my page. I have a lot of backlog, so trying to fit stuff in there without looking like I'm trying to go viral, because I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be sick in this day and age. I get the sentiment, but I have history behind me. So all of that stuff. On Saturday, and then we're going to bounce back to Friday in a moment, but Saturday was the Elevation Club at the Toledo Lucas County Library. That was from noon to 4. Hopefully everybody was able to make that. There was also Saturday Uncloistered Poetry on the 11th with Joni McKintry at the Attic. Unfortunately, sorry I missed it. I just got back to Toledo from Cincinnati. And those were a couple of the things that I saw. There's a big event that happened on Sunday, but we're going to go back to Friday. So Friday, which I did not know, back in March, there was a call for poets to write or have written 12 lines about a river. Cincinnati turned 250 years old, and they celebrated it with the American River Roots Festival. This was a 4-day celebration from the 8th until the 12th of musicians and dancing and bars and a whole cultural event. Me and a whole bunch of people actually got to be in the National Railroad Freedom Center, and it was really, really, really amazing. I'm going to actually name off some of the people that I got to be on stage with, and then I am going to name off some of the people that are part of this event. It was nice. We had classrooms come in, because this wasn't just celebrate all the adult things. This was a chance to teach future generations about this stuff. So we had classrooms coming in as we were performing on stage. I'm looking for. So these are some of the poets that were able to make it on stage with me. You'll see some of the things. Shout out to Holly Ragusa, who is part of the Ohio Poetry Association. And this was a global thing. We even had someone from Germany in. So when I initially entered, I thought it was like Ohio, and 39 counties were picked out of all of Ohio, but no, there were entries from Germany and Australia. And so it turned into a global thing about the river. But here are some of the names that I actually got to grace the stage with: Bryce Kelsler, John Paul Wright, One Single Rose. If you don't know who that is, that's Rosemary Marie, who inspired the melodies in my poems now, which you'll be hearing today for 5 minutes of heat. Ron Nicholson, Kay Bancroft, Jessica Bentley, Alexis Jackson, Eileen Toth, I might say that name wrong, Julie Clear, Betty Bleen, Alyssa, I can't say your last name, Roberta and Carrie were actually on stage with me. The 15 or so poets that actually got to speak in front of the children. And then there is a list of 39 other people that I will be sharing a book with, because it wasn't just this performance where they're actually writing a book of all of the poems that we submitted. Mine was Glass City Strong, but special shout out to Yasu, who is Megan.
Yeah, Megan Yasu.
Hunter Prey. You don't know who Hunter Prey is, you might not be from Toledo. He is an excellent poet in Toledo. Sandra Rivers Gill, she was also there. And John Burroughs, who is another poet from, or not from Toledo, but Lucas County area. I performed with him a whole bunch of times. And that's just a couple people that I want to shout out of the 39. Especially, again, thank you to the Freedom Center for allowing us to use your stage, the Harriet Tubman Theater. That's where we performed in, and it was the National Underground Freedom Railroad. So I spent about 27 hours, no more, no less, in Cincinnati. You guys have a beautiful city. I enjoyed the Skyline chili. Gave everybody crystals. It's not better than Paco's. I gotta say that because they always used to come in and be like, hey, you should go to Skyline. It was delicious. And I did get the whole cinnamon flavor and stuff. Staff was really nice and awesome. But yeah, we still beat you at Paco's here.
All right.
I got to do my Toledo thing. But the city was nice. I got to walk around because I got there about 2 a.m. So I got to walk around into the downtown, see that they have a Black Lives mural on the street. Got to take a whole bunch of pictures of that. The African American Walk of Fame is there, which I didn't even know existed. Last year I opened for Bootsy Collins, and stuff like this is, as I'm getting older and we're talking about the Million Man March and everything, I'm realizing I'm a little bit a part of. But I got to
That's
visit
right.
it and stuff. One thing I can say, it made me appreciate Toledo even more because they have a lot of tall buildings. One thing is I was walking around, I actually walked to Kentucky across the bridge and everything. Their city goes from what is our downtown to an 8-lane freeway because the expressway actually runs through the city. So that was something I wasn't used to. When I was walking around, there was no cars, no people. All you could hear is my chains and my staff echoing through the streets for like an hour and a half. So the next day when I came, did all the stuff, it was very nice to see everybody out there, all the riverboats and stuff. And that was my Friday going into Saturday. Sunday, I'm going to give a major shout out to Jay Rayford and 1983 The Band. They had their 5th annual gala. I've been seeing everybody in your nice dresses and outfits. Shout out to my cousin, Kayla Renee, who was one of the singers. I've been, watching all of y'all as best as I can, trying to recoup and get ready for what's coming up. And anything else that you know of?
I think that's about it. Oh, I do want to say that for the CSRN Mayoral Forum, we're going to have Toy Creel is the moderator.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have Carter Thomas of Good Company Christian Counseling. He's going to open up in prayer. I have not selected our elder yet.
Okay.
I'll wait till we get there and I'll see who comes in. It's got to be somebody older than me. Mm-hmm. I'm just hoping somebody's there older than I am. And what else? I mentioned Megan's did I say Megan is going to do the Black National Anthem?
So see.
Megan's going to do, so you got to be there for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a mayoral forum. It's also an experience in Black excellence too. The way that we do things is unlike any other group that I've seen, because nobody has a Jody. So you cannot do what we do with a Jody because you don't have one. So I'm looking forward to everyone being there on Thursday, and I'm going to put this crawler along the where did I had this crawler for the bottom. To let everyone know.
While he's finding that crawler, I'm just going to run through a couple of things that you might not want to miss this week that are upcoming. So right now, and again, as I tell everybody, if it's Tuesday, I'm not doing nothing else. Most likely I'm at work today. We put up the stock for the art museum and everything like that. So if it's not before the morning and I'm not working, then I'll try and be there. But they do have a once a month open mic. This is, I believe, their 3rd month now at Handmade Toledo. And that is the open mic and listening room at Handmade Toledo from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. Nope. Next month I'll go. Since now I know it was 9, I believe it was initially 5 to 8. And since we're done with setup and tear down about 8 o'clock, would have been difficult for me to make it there. But if it's 9 o'clock, I will try and make it next month. Also happening right now is the Art of Scale Up Small Business Owners, and that is done through the Toledo Urban Federal Credit Union. The 28th is their last class. They've been going since September 9th. So shout out to everybody that's been able to attend. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. is Indigenous Peoples Day at the Art Museum, 2445 Monroe. I believe they're bringing back one of the people they had last year to do everything. So if you can make it, I'll be at work. So unfortunately, yeah, it's another thing I'll be missing. But also happy Indigenous Day to everybody for yesterday, just in case you didn't see my post and all that good stuff. So if you make it tomorrow, 11 a.m., it is a free event at the Toledo Museum of Art. Also tomorrow at 7 p.m., there is Poetry and Soul Sessions with Kay Renee at Toll House, 1447 North Summit Street, Toledo, Ohio. That would be in Lucille's. There is a cover. You can pay online or pay at the door. Kay is actually the reason why I got into poetry. She is my mentor, and she has a very special announcement. I think she announced it on her page, so I think I could say it today. She wrote a book. So if you would love to get a book tomorrow before she sells out and has to go through the whole thing of restocking, come tomorrow, 7 p.m. We go to I believe 9 or 10. Tickets are still available on Eventbrite, and at the door you can pay. Also, this Thursday at 5 o'clock, while we have our mayoral forum, which I hope you'd be there. I hope you can. I, unfortunately, and this is the beautiful thing about having a team, you don't have to do everything yourself, is Art Loop, Literate. So that is going on at the main library downtown. It is from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. There is going to be all kinds of poets and authors and people. I'll actually have books for sale. I am one of the presenters, but just to give you a quick rundown, at 5 o'clock, there is fantasy fiction author Jennifer Pullen. At 5:20, there's Mayoral Wyatt, Middle Grade Mysteries. 5:40, there's a very good friend of mine, Latoya Williams. She's a spoken word artist and second place winner of the 2024 Poetry Slam. She's also has a new book that she'll be talking about. At 6 p.m. is Floetically Divine with an interactive writing group. 6:20, Don Ciso, bilingual poet and translator. He does a lot of Spanish poems. I've been blessed to be able to hear some of those in my lifetime. 6:40, there's a mystery author. 7 o'clock, the Toledo School for the Arts. The young writers are going to showcase themselves. At 7:20, Hunter Prey, who I just spoke about earlier, he's going to be doing a spoken word piece. And at 7:40, I will be the speaker for a memorandum of late poets, Stormy and a whole bunch of other people that's passed over these past years. I'll be speaking in honor of them. There'll be activities and tables and books and all of that stuff going on. And finally, there is the CC's Crystals Spooktacular Craft and Vendor Market on the 18th at Franklin Park Mall. So those are just some of the things that I've seen on my timeline going around. One last thing, there is a spotlight experience at Top Shots here in Toledo Sunday at 5 o'clock to 9 p.m. So if you can make any of those things, I'll try and share more what I can. If I can, tag me if I don't know about it. And I would love to see your face.
All right. We're going to get to 5 minutes of heat. But first, if you'd like to support us, we'd like for you to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, listen to us on Spotify, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are going to be posting on X soon, so just stay tuned. If you want to support what we do, you can support us via Cash App. That's the cash tag CSRN 419, and hopefully for the forum, we'll have a scan code so they can just put their phone over it and support us that way too. If you want to support us via PayPal, that's CSRN 419. Here's our YouTube, Just click in, like Jody says, type in community solidarity and watch it drop down to our YouTube page. If you want Black Lives Matter signs like the ones we have on set, you might end up getting one and we can autograph it for you and bring it to your house. We have the defund the police signs. Those are always a party favorite. So make sure you get your defund the police sign. Make sure you get your Black Lives Matter sign and support CSRN. We're going into our 11th year, and we would not have made it without the support of viewers like you. Isn't that what?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah, get our WGTE on.
Right, and also on the bottom crawler, we said that we were going to show you the address of the 30-year anniversary for the Million Man March. That's 1416 Nebraska. That's kind of where Muhammad's Mosque number 91 is meeting right now until we get that hole repaired in the side of our mosque. We've taken some bids right now, and whoever can come in the lowest and do good quality work, we'll get that up and going. So, but shout out to the Padua Center allowing us to meet there right now to still organize. So be there 11 a.m. this Sunday, 1416 Nebraska for the 30-year anniversary of the historic Million Man March. So what's 5 minutes of heat? 5 minutes of heat is the way that we close out almost everything. I don't know if we'll close out the forum with 5 minutes of heat, but we may close it out with the solidarity players. That's 5 minutes of heat. All right. What do you have for us today?
So, as I said, I did not know it was a global competition. And after we read our pieces, we were asked to do a line or something about the experience, and little Sam Cooke came out of me. So, in my amazing wisdom of art and poetry in the last decade of traveling around the world, I've decided to add that into Glass City Strong with my intro. So you guys will be the first audience. Well, it was done at a secret studio party, but that doesn't count. You guys will be my first audience to hear the new rendition of how I will open when I take features in other cities. So anyway, I was born by a river. Luckily, the droughts in my life did not ebb the flow of creativity I grew into. I am an open book, yes, open book to those that decide to read. 1,000 words, yes, 1,000 words to those who've only caught a glimpse of me. And a lifetime, yes, a lifetime to those that can say they were part of my story. If you are anywhere under the sound of my voice, you are now family. Because on this stage, yes, on this stage is where I share the most vulnerable parts of myself. And I hope, yes, I hope that you hear me. So let's begin. Peace. Glass City Strong. I love my city. Nothing, no one, or anything will change that. I was born in the mud, raised in the city that built the Jeep, spent my childhood playing around glass houses that people chuck stones at, walked up and down, yes, up and down these holy roads where frogs ribbit at you just to get a reaction. Played down by the docks, yes, down by the docks, where you see massive bridges open up to let floating cities pass through. Grew up listening to local legends and educated, yes, educated by the most amazing library and museum system in the country. So when I open up stages to vibrate people's minds and let them know where I come from, I always, yes, always tell them 419 Toledo, Ohio, mud made Glass City Strong every time I raise the fist connected to my heart. I am thinking, yes, thinking of all of you in peace.
And as always, we snap our fingers.
Yep. And then as a little part of that poem that most people won't know when I'm on stage and they can't see my arm, why I say that is because across my arm is Toledo. So while I'm raising this fist that says Toledo, that has our area code,
okay,
that is a literal visual representation of what it's like being on stage.
And in representation, we all know that all lives can't matter until Black lives matter. And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice Wells,
yeah.
Peace.